San Marcos in Lima said, "The whole history of humanity will be upturned because we of the young generation have decided to take on the work of Peter Howard and make it our own." From the mayor of West Berlin, Willy Brandt, Prime Minister Sato of Japan said, "We have a great respect for his distinguished career." President Arturo Illia of Argentina, and from Sri Rajagopalachari, India's first Governor General. Further messages came from leaders in the press, business, and labor world. The fight and commitment of Peter Howard's life strides forward on every continent. The idea for which he gave his life moves ahead at lightning speed. Across the world today, men and women of every class and every race carry forward his work. He gave his life for the modernization of man and the moral rearmament of the world. He expected every man, woman, and child to do likewise.
I know that if any people undertake that supreme task, not only their children, but the children's children of the whole earth will arise and call them blessed.
In appreciation for what Peter Howard has given our country, people from every walk of life have made this program possible. This summer at Mackinac Island, Michigan, thousands of youth will be trained in these ideas at a conference for modernizing America. You can have a part. Contributions to Moral Re-Armament are tax deductible. Send yours to Moral Re-Armament, Post Office Box 1407, New York, New York. That is Box 1407, New York, New York. Brothers from Los Angeles.
You can't live crooked and think straight, whether you're a chauffeur or a chief of state. Clean up the nation before it's too late, 'cause you can't live crooked and think straight.
Now in Italy there lived a famous architect. His architectural plans were nearly always correct, but this fellow had a mistress and he tried to please her while working on a very lovely tower in Pisa.
Oh, you can't live crooked and think straight, whether you're a chauffeur or a chief of state. Clean up the nation before it's too late, 'cause you can't live crooked and think straight.
Diplomats were meeting at a table round. Most of them spent every evening out in the town. So they were outmaneuvered to their great surprise, for they couldn't see things clearly through their bleary eyes.
Oh, you can't live crooked and think straight, whether you're a chauffeur or a chief of state. Clean up the nation before it's too late, 'cause you can't live crooked and think straight.
Now, a scientist we know possessed a brilliant brain, but from certain private habits he just couldn't refrain. So his hand was a little shaky and his moonshot missed a mile. The fellows in that rocket won't be back for quite a while.
Oh, you can't live crooked and think straight, whether you're a chauffeur or a chief of state. Clean up the nation before it's too late.
Hey! Yeah, just like that old saying.
Yeah.
You can't live crooked and sing straight. If we're going to save the nation before it's too late, let's stop our crooked living and we'll think straight.
During the conference, student delegates write, act, and produce 10 moving pictures covering every aspect of the conference. These films, which are now available, are carrying the spirit and aims of the conference to every corner of America. Other delegates produce a daily newspaper, Tomorrow's American. Because of its popularity with the delegates and its relevant commentary on national issues, Tomorrow's America is being continued as a national weekly. Also rising out of the conference is a new national magazine, Dare. With its unique coverage of young America on the move, its fresh approach to the issues vital in the life of every young American, and its captivating photography, Dare is becoming a hit with young America from coast to coast. The wealth of talent in the delegates at the conference gave rise to an avalanche of new skits, plays, and songs, representing their view of the art and entertainment of the future. Herbie Allen of Seattle on the xylophone. Bob Cannell of Baltimore on the drums. Here is Beth Peterson of Seattle with the Dolphins, the Caldwell Brothers, and other musicians from the conference, and the National Steel Band of Trinidad Tobago with Have You a Place for Me Up There?
Have you a place for me up there, a place where I'm really needed, where my anger is met with more than prayer, where my hungers and hopes are heeded? Have you a place for me up there, a place where I'm really needed, where my lingering death will spark to life, where the hungers and hopes of my heart are heeded? Have you a place for me up there, a place where I'm really needed, where my anger is met with more than prayer, where my hungers and hopes are heeded? Have you a place for me up there, a place where I'm really needed, where my lingering death will spark to life, where the hungers and hopes of my heart are heeded? Have you a place for me up there, a place where I'm really needed, where my anger is met with more than prayer, where my hungers and hopes are heeded, where my hungers and hopes are heeded, where my hungers and hopes are heeded? Have you a place for me?
Back in the Great Hall, delegates from every part of America state their conclusions of the conference and their plans to make their Mackinac training practical in their home states. Glenn Close, Greenwich, Connecticut.
I am determined to raise up a force of youth from my area who will be true leaders, who will export something far greater than materialism. We at this conference have decided to take responsibility for America. We have decided to provide a solid leadership for this country, which will be ours very shortly.
Eugene Oliver, Harlem. Susan Cornell, Radcliffe College, who lives in Washington, D.C. Jim Hall, University of Southern California.
We aim to see that California is known in the next year as a pattern of family unity instead of family division. We aim to raise a force of 10,000 youth who are known for their aim and purpose instead of their hell-raising. To have every large city of the state setting the pattern of the nation and race relations. To raise a corps of youth who will place the new morality and atheism on the defensive in the colleges and school systems of the state.
Ramona Abella, Cuban refugee now studying in Miami. Randy Carver, Texas. Laura Peshlikai, New Mexico.
Speaking for my people, we very definitely are going home to our respective reservations and pueblos to make ourselves and our desires for a better world heard and heeded by every Indian citizen in this country and in Canada and wherever there be Indians. I only thank God that there are still people interested enough in the human race, regardless of color, creed, or criticism, to carry on the grand work of moral rearmament. Thank you.
James Gay, Student Body President, Virginia State University. Tom Trebone, Seattle.
We feel we want to win for the Almighty the minds and hearts of 180 million people. We must bring to the Northwest the goal that people in our area and throughout the country can't live in little parochial societies, that each of us here and all the people in our areas have our own personal responsibility to our neighbors and to the rest of the country and to the rest of the world. I see troubled days ahead, troubled for those who stand against us, who care too little for God and too much for themselves. We haven't come to the end of a conference as far as the Northwest is concerned. We've come to the beginning of a new America.
Mr. John Sayre, sports director of the conference, and himself an Olympic gold medal winner, introduces the keynote speaker of the final session of the conference.
Mr. Howard is a journalist, was formerly the highest paid political columnist in England, writing for Lord Beaverbrook's Daily Express. He is an author whose books have sold 6 million copies around the world, and he is a playwright whose plays have been the most successful in London for the last 3 years straight running, and are presently running on every continent in the world. He is the friend and confidant of many of the world's leaders, and it is my privilege and honor to present to you Mr. Howard this morning.
There was a man called Paul Revere, and he rode, and certain people rode with him. The great majority didn't. Some of them never left their wives, their beds, their comforts, and their corn. Some turned back. But the people who built a nation and are remembered and thanked by history are those who rode. And you're going out today like so many Paul Reveres. Don't be a bit disconcerted if not everybody rides with you. They won't. Don't be a bit disconcerted if some people get the collywobbles when the bullets fly. They will. But the people who ride and keep on riding are going to make a permanent mark on the history of this country and on the story of liberty. No plan will ever work unless it's backed by convinced, disciplined people. And that's what impresses me so much, that you've caught the vision of a revolutionized America and a revolutionized world, and you're ready to back it with the discipline of your lives, and that's what counts. And diagnosis is one thing, but building an answer that works is another, and a force to take that answer to the nations is a third. Let anybody criticize moral rearmament who have themselves built a force like this to carry an answer to America. If they've done it, let them speak. If they've not done it, let them learn. That's fair enough, isn't it? Now, I want, before I sit down, to say one last thing, and it's about communism. The only intelligent action for those who love liberty is to create a revolution bigger than communism that needs everybody for its fulfillment. So you can say to the communists, we want to revolutionize the world, we're revolutionizing the world, come and help us do it in the right way. That's the only synthesis that will get the Marxist out of his dilemma. And in the next month and 6 months, you have got to match in America the revolutionary passion and relentlessness of men determined to take over Latin America, take over Africa, take over Asia, and not, repeat, not, leave the United States and Canada to stew in their own juice. What I hate is the self-righteous condescension of men and women in the free world who say they believe in God, but live as if he never existed, and think we can continue our selfish, comfortable, easy-going, divided life undisturbed. That is modern madness, and I believe you are going out to end it.
But the beginning of a campaign to create a great America and a world that works. It is a gigantic task which demands the best of all of us. With resolution and dare, we can make tomorrow's America a great America and a pattern of how to live for men everywhere.